The Monsters of Chernobyl, Legends and Reality. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and chilling, the so-called monsters of Chernobyl. You might have heard wild tales of mutated creatures or ghostly figures lurking in the shadows of the exclusion zone. But what's fact and what's fiction? Let's chat about the enduring legends and the rough realities of Chernobyl's haunting legacy. Ready? Let's go. The Chernobyl disaster occurred on April 26, 1986, when a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine exploded. It released massive amounts of radioactive particles into the atmosphere, resulting in one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. The nearby town of Pripyat and the surrounding areas were heavily affected, leading to an immediate evacuation and an exclusion zone that still exists today. The impact on the environment was profound, and this set the stage for the eerie tales we're about to explore. Now, let's talk about legends and myths. Chernobyl's ghost stories have taken on a life of their own. Ever heard of the supposed mutated creatures roaming around? Or those spooky stories about ghostly apparitions of the victims? These tales capture the imagination, tapping into our deepest fears and interests. Often, storytelling builds a community connection, sharing what would otherwise be forgotten. The way urban myths spread almost reveals more about us than Chernobyl itself. But what about the reality? After the disaster, the environment underwent some dramatic shifts. Wildlife adapted remarkably well in the absence of humans. Studies have shown that animals, like wolves and bears, began to flourish in this new wilderness, largely free from human interference. However, the ghosts of radiation still linger. There are still questions about how radiation has affected these creatures. Some reports suggest certain mutated species exist, but they're not the terrifying monsters of the urban legends. Speaking of monsters, have you heard about the famous Chernobyl dogs? These stray dogs have become symbols of resilience. Many have managed to survive in the harsh exclusion zone, coping with the deadly environment. There are also reports of other animals showing mutations. However, let's be clear. The extent and severity of these mutations may not be as terrifying as folklore suggests. Media portrayals play a big role in shaping our perceptions of Chernobyl. From gripping documentaries to dramatic series like HBO's Chernobyl, the sensationalization often leads to embellishments. While these shows spark our curiosity and tell horrifying tales, they can also blur the line between reality and myth. It's important to appreciate these productions, but also to take them with a grain of salt when it comes to factual accuracy. Let's switch gears and look at some scientific studies. Researchers have been exploring the exclusion zone for decades, providing valuable insights into the effects of radiation. Surprisingly, many plants and animals show resilience, adapting well in the radioactive landscape. While there are mutations, they're often less dramatic than the stories suggest. Distinct variations do exist, but they're part of natural adaptation, not some monstrous transformation from a horror film. Yet, there's a silver lining in this dark tale. The Chernobyl exclusion zone has turned into a sort of accidental wildlife sanctuary. Animals are reclaiming the land, and biodiversity is increasing in unexpected ways. It's amazing to think that nature can rebound even after such a catastrophic event. The juxtaposition of human abandonment versus nature's resilience is truly a sight to behold. So, after exploring the legends and the realities of Chernobyl, we see a fascinating mix of truth and fiction. From spooky stories of monsters to the real-life wildlife thriving in a radioactive landscape, there's much to comprehend. It's crucial to separate the tales woven by folklore from the knowledge brought by science. What do you guys think? Are you captivated more by the legends, or do you find the reality even more intriguing? Let's chat in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious.